He feels that America has great potential. Well, of course it has great potential. It's the richest nation in the history of the world. Pre-Obama, it had a little more wealth.
Is Barack Obama anti-American?
Well, I think he has a grudge against pre-Obama America. So I don't think he is anti-America now that he's president. He's all happy with his potential for transforming America, using America's wealth to remake it in his own image. And he actually is presumptuous enough and narcissistic enough to believe that he can do it. But some people talked about Obama having this ambiguous feeling about America. I think it was in a Rolling Stone interview that I cite in my book. He says he kind of has these negative feelings about America, but he also is ambivalent because he feels that America has great potential. Well, of course it has great potential. It's the richest nation in the history of the world. Pre-Obama, it had a little more wealth, and so he can use that wealth to redistribute to people he thinks deserve the money, that is, people that haven't earned it and don't have it.
Speaking of Barack's narcissism, you write in Crimes Against Liberty, to say that Obama has an enormous ego is an understatement. Explain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I kind of think that's self-explanatory. I mean, I don't think there's a rational person in the United States that could be observing his behavior and conclude anything else, but that he has an enormous ego that makes him believe that he can actually make the waters subside, that he is the one we've been waiting for. And that's what he meant, by the way, in no uncertain terms, that he can appear before the Muslim world in Cairo and say to the world such things that will make the entire United States and the entire world of nations have a collective aha moment and say, ah, yes, we can get along now. Muslims and non-Muslims, Arabs and non-Arabs, Middle Easterners and United States people can now get together and get along because I've said something magical about bridging these gaps. Or when he goes to Notre Dame and he thinks he's got some magical ability to bridge the divide in an issue that's no less grave than life and death, and say something new that hasn't been said in the last 50 years, actually the last 37, 38 years since Roe versus Wade in 1973, and he can make people come together when in fact he cost Notre Dame $8.2 million in funding because people were outraged that they allowed him to speak, and he had the audacity to speak about a divisive issue there. And when he crams health care down the United States, down the Americans' throats, on the heels of that, he triumphantly announces, I have just accomplished a victory for the American people, and I'm going to continue to fight for the American people. Now, that's almost delusional to say that he's fighting for us when he's thwarting our will on purpose.